Hey guys, what's up? Flex Tango here to talk about gaming. So the past couple of days were pretty huge. We got to play the alpha of Black Ops Cold War. I want to hear your opinions from your experiences down in the comments, things you liked, things you feel you need to complain about. I'm going to go into the things I like and the issues that I feel need to be fixed and how they can go about fixing these issues. Now, first off, first impressions was wow, just wow. Considering the short amount of time they had to work on this game, I was very impressed. This was much more fast-paced. There was a lot less camping than Modern Warfare. Even when people did camp, they were like moving and camping. They didn't really just sit in the same spot forever. They would get a kill and move to a different place. And the traditional minimap and no doors also helps makes this a more fast-paced game. But also the formula for score streaks in this game is an incentive for people to run around and try to see how many kills they can get before the end of the match, because it functions like a support streak, but it does in fact reward you for getting longer streaks in one life. You get bonuses. So if you realize at the beginning of the game, hey, I'm not going to get any bonuses, I'm not going to get any one life streaks, I just kill and I die, I'm just going to go out and see how many kills I can get before the end of the game and see if it's enough to get a streak. That is an incentive that gets people moving around. Also, the maps so far I love. Miami functions like a Call of Duty map, Moscow feels like it would have been a DLC map for Black Ops 1, and Satellite is just fun and different, but it still has flow. There's multiple ways you can play each map with sniping, some machine guns, assault rifles, LMGs. The overall gameplay, I was able to play differently and experiment with different routes and different types of guns and different playstyles. I was able to sneak around like I did in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. I went on a 27 kill streak doing that in Moscow. There's just something about the way I was able to sneak around in that fashion that I wasn't able to do much in Modern Warfare. It didn't feel right in Modern Warfare. I think the major difference taking away from the maps in Modern Warfare was the lack of traditional minimap. I feel like if it had a traditional minimap, a lot of those maps would have felt more like Call of Duty to us, but that's already water under the bridge, alright? That's already an opportunity missed. That's the past. We're right now talking about Black Ops Cold War. And I think as far as maps feeling like Call of Duty so far, they nailed it. Now, the weapons balancing was not bad at all, but then again, it's hard to screw up balancing when it's only a few weapons. I'm sure it'll get more complex and possibly aggravating as they add more weapons. The only balancing issues I saw was, for one, the AK-47 felt kind of weak. It didn't feel like a powerhouse. I think day 2 they might have updated it, but still, it was pretty weak. And the second problem, the second issue, the sniper rifles were overpowering the meta. I saw an article where Treyarch admitted they were just buffing sniper rifles to see how players react, and then acquire that data and then adjust accordingly. So obviously, they're not going to stay this way, which is good, but I don't want them to nerf the damage by any means. I was sniping around and quickscoping, and I noticed that I only got like one hit marker, maybe two, and the rest were all kills. Very different from Modern Warfare, where if I run around, let's say, the car decked out for damage and range, one week I'll be getting more kills than hit markers, and the next week I'll be getting nothing but hit markers. Even if it's close quarters, I shoot him in the chest or shoot him in the head, I will still, for the most part, just get hit markers. This was the issue that my buddy Scruffy Charms had with Modern Warfare specifically, and he very much appreciated the damage buff in Black Ops Cold War. So the damage isn't necessarily the issue in Cold War, it's the fact that even when I or anybody else is being shot at, or is getting hit for that matter, we still have all the time in the world to make that kill because you don't flinch in Cold War. Your screen flashes red a little bit, but you do not flinch. I heard there would be minimal flinching for some machine guns and assault rifles, but there's absolutely zero flinch on sniper rifles, and that's an issue because pair that up with ADS speed and the damage and lack of sway, the sniper rifle ended up becoming the dominant meta in a lot of my lobbies, especially on day 2, and I'll get to why that was in a second. I love the create a class. I love the perk selection, how simple and straightforward it is. It doesn't feel very convoluted at all. I do feel like the equipment that's supposed to help you hear people's steps didn't do jack shit for anybody. It's going to be one of those pieces of equipment that gets left behind on the menu that nobody uses, just collecting dust like the security camera from Black Ops 1. Now, one thing I noticed with equipment is if everybody on your team has anti-aircraft equipment, and at least 2 people on your team have rockets, you can take down a helicopter or a chopper gunner fairly quickly. Now, with that said, helicopters in this game have a lot more life than Modern Warfare. A lot! So, they should probably get a nerf in that department. Honestly, at least a little bit, but I did at times enjoy the challenge. But there were definitely times where everybody on my team was shooting at the helicopter with guns and rockets, and it still took forever to take that thing down. And I do believe the reason they make it so hard to take down is because there is a kill streak that's whole purpose is to clear the skies. Super easy and quick. And it's not a hard streak to achieve, it's pretty low. So because of that, I guess you need to kind of buff the aircraft. When you're dealing with players on the ground and not that particular kill streak, I personally think a kill streak like that can be game breaking and ruining in the future. My first chopper gunner I got, for example, I realized how hard it was to obtain a chopper gunner. And in this game, I was destroyed before I even got to the battlefield because of said kill streak. It kind of felt like a kick in the nuts that my streak could be taken out instantly by another streak that you can obtain with 1/3 of the kills. Eventually, everybody is going to have that streak equipped along with another aerial streak, and the whole game will just be people getting streaks and then somebody else using their streak to take down that streak, making streaks for the most part pointless. That will become the focus of the meta, and that's why I think it will become kind of game ruining. But of course, if it was a higher streak, people would probably never use it, and it would just be a waste of space. So what I would propose is that you make it a higher streak, but then those jets that clear the skies come back and do some type of airstrike across the entirety of the map, giving more incentive for people to equip it, even if it's a higher streak, and give purpose and usefulness to its existence and that level of a streak. Now, I know there's a lot more kill streaks to this game, and there's probably one similar to that already, but me and my friends would honestly rather just a game meta where people shoot down helicopters with guns, rockets, or equipment, or other controlled kill streaks, instead of a low streak that just instantly, no question asked, takes out whatever's in the sky. Now, last but not least, we have the major issue that could kill all the great things about this game. That issue being skill-based matchmaking. The reason earlier in this video I mentioned that Day 2 was different from Day 1 and things like matchmaking in the meta was because Day 2 they really turned up skill-based matchmaking and everybody felt it. They turned it way up, like Modern Warfare 2019 around Christmas way up. Alright, maybe not that far up. But anyways, the better you did, the higher in the matchmaking tier you went, you would experience lobbies where everybody was using the XM4 or MP5, where everybody in the lobby was using sniper rifles and quickscoping each other. Very repetitive gameplay, and at the very end, people's kills would differ by like 1 or 2, and it was definitely flashbacks to the early days of super high skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare. But Day 1 was actually awesome. I don't know if it was because I was in a party with a couple of friends for more of Day 1 than Day 2, but even when I played solo on Day 1, I noticed the matchmaking was more or less just lobby balancing. If you don't know what lobby balancing is, it's ping-based matchmaking. Basically, matchmaking is determined by who all would have the best connection with one another, making the match really smooth, first of all. Then you take those players in the match by their skill rating and you split them up team by team, where you have just as many good, medium, and bad players on each team. This form of matchmaking evens things out. It ends up with games being closer than they would be if it was just a random lobby construction.
Oh man! I was duking on these fellas.
And what I noticed was I could go ham, but I could also get my ass kicked depending on the location, the guns, the different firefights, who I was running into. It was a variety of things. Every match felt different. Every interaction felt different. Everybody was using different weapons. They were using different playstyles. It was a lot of fun, and it really took me back to the older days of COD, because lobby balancing was a thing back in the day, and it was great because if you were a shitty player, you could go up against very high-skilled players and learn how to become better. And if the high school players on your team were cool enough, you could buddy up with them and you could have some protection while also learning from them. And because not everybody on the other team was a high skill player, it gave you room to learn and stretch your legs a little bit. Those types of matches and that type of matchmaking is what kept me interested in COD when I was younger, and also helped me grow in Call of Duty and become a better player. If there was skill-based matchmaking when I first started playing COD, I would have never gotten better, because I would be going up against other brain-dead players like myself. Another negative aspect of skill-based matchmaking is the better you are, the smaller of a pool of players you can be picked from. So since there's a smaller group to pick from, spread out across the country or the globe, you will end up with having a higher ping on average, which means more laggy interactions. But with lobby balancing, you can easily do a more ping-based matchmaking and then split the teams up accordingly. Day 1, I noticed my ping would never really go above 44. It stuck around 27, which was nice. But Day 2, my ping was constantly getting around 100. And I didn't hear anybody who liked skill-based matchmaking necessarily complaining Day 1. And again, skill-based matchmaking could have been active on Day 1, and my experience could have been because I was playing in a party most of the day. But on Day 1, even when I played solo, I noticed the better I did, the more shitty players were being added to my team as if to balance things out. This guy, I play Fortnite, yes, this really happened, was walking around looking up in the sky, and his other teammates weren't very good either. And I had maybe one other player in my match that was decent. And the other team was no different. They were exactly the same way. So to me, that's lobby balancing. So obviously they're probably experimenting in the same way they're experimenting with sniper rifles, and they're going to continue to experiment with matchmaking in the beta as Modern Warfare did with their beta. All we can do now is be hopeful. Treyarch did bring back traditional minimap, smoother movement. ADS is a little bit quicker. Hell, they brought back shotguns as the secondary. They got rid of doors, and they created a system for streaks that encourages moving around. If anybody is going to get the word up to fix skill-based matchmaking or switch to a better alternative, it is going to be Treyarch. Anyways, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content. And if you work at Activision or Treyarch and are watching this video, you guys are definitely killing it. Black Ops Cold War is epic. Can't wait for the beta. I hope you got enough data on how to adjust sniper rifles, but also, please, this time around, don't ignore fans when they talk about matchmaking. As always, comment down below, keep the conversation going, and I'll catch you guys next time.